Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Well, good morning and welcome to Encounter. I'm your host today, Joe Sellepack. As you all are aware, we are in a different mode than what we were last time I was with you. We were talking with the Commissioner for Public Health. We were doing all kinds of things in relationship to this COVID. Now we're wearing masks. And I'm coming to you live from in the Rosen Room, which is where all the decisions for the Council of Churches is made. And up until this last month, this room would have been filled with board members. And this last month, we instead had to meet on a different platform. We met on Zoom, and currently we're coming to you from Team Meetings, which is a Microsoft product. Lots have changed in the last couple of months as we've been trying to deal with this COVID-19 situation that's on us. Lots of people are learning different things and coming to each other in different ways. And right now, I have with me one of our directors here at the council, Jack Seman. Hi, Jack. It's nice to be with you. So in all of the things that we have going on right now, and all the changes that people are experiencing as far as having to come up with new technologies and also new ways of interacting with each other, are there any things that you think we could kind of see as being constants? Like what are some of the things that haven't changed?
Well, some of the things that haven't changed are what we're doing here at the Council of Churches. CHOW is still providing needed services to the community. Faith in Action is still from home providing the services to those that they serve throughout Broome County. So, as far as things go, that show must go on. And I think our volunteers and our staff have done an incredible job of keeping those things running.
Yeah, I think the most recent statistic was we're operating at about 5 times our normal capacity, which is absolutely amazing, and it's mind-boggling when you think about it.
It really is. Just the amount of food that is coming through the warehouse doors is it really is. It's mind-boggling, and our ability to distribute that food through our volunteers and our staff has just been absolutely incredible. My hat is off to every single one of our volunteers and our staff. I'm just so impressed with the work that they've done. It's been incredible meeting the need in the community.
Yeah, I'm sure that Les had talked a little bit about the food boxes and all the work that we had done there, but we still have some projects that we're working on currently that have been ongoing. We've been working on one project I can think of for at least 2.5 years. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So, one of the needs, obviously, that everybody is aware of is the north side of Binghamton is what you would call a food desert, which means folks in that community do not have access to a grocery store. They do a lot of their shopping at gas stations, dollar stores, bodegas, and those places are, at times expensive and really don't have a lot of healthy food. So, as you mentioned, for the last 2.5 years, and I can't believe it's been that long, we have been working on implementing a grocery store on the north side and really creating a brick and mortar grocery store that will permanently meet that need. And I'm really excited to say that the work on that is starting to snowball and gain a lot of momentum. It's very, very exciting. Right after this, I'm going to be going over to the site and visiting it and seeing, the progress that they've made. I'm going to be meeting with contractors to get the refrigeration in, and just everything is moving really quickly. And I just cannot wait to see that space finished and see something that monumental realized for the community on the north side of Binghamton.
I know it was pretty early on when you and I went over there to the site. just after they had poured the foundation, and we got to walk on the floor, because it was gonna be the same floor that we're going to be in when the grocery store opens. And we're like looking around going, man, it's going to be hard to imagine it. But I've been in the building a couple of times since then, and they're doing an amazing job with it. It's going to be very attractive as a space. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it just as a new building on the north side of Binghamton, and and I've heard that just because it's a new building, it's improving the values of other buildings that are close to it. So you want to talk about what the effect of just a new building on the north side might be?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, you're aware, in the planning process of this grocery store, we thought of so many different ideas where we could put this grocery store. Would we inhabit an existing space? And I don't think we ever dreamed of moving into a brand new space, being the first. I think
now what we were looking at, no.
Not at all, not at all. And I think just all of the partners involved in this project, the city of Binghamton, the developers, all of the foundations, all of the community that donated to this and made this possible, their input into this has just been absolutely incredible. And it's exciting to drive past that new building every day and see something new life being breathed into that part of the town. And I think it's going to have a huge ripple effect throughout the entire community, not just through the grocery store, but the affordable housing that individuals are going to have access to as a result of that.
Yeah, and I think that people are going to be able to see a sign going up even before the grocery store opens, won't they?
They will. Yep. That's another portion of the build out that's also moving very quickly. A couple more decisions to be made, a few I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed, and then that'll go up.
I know we've used the Northside grocery as kind of a placeholder to kind of get through all of the legal steps that we have to go through, and we've been developing a new name that we're pretty excited about, but we have to kind of hold on to it for a little while before we make it public, just so that we make sure that everybody, all the legal stuff is taken care of.
Yeah. It's in the back of my head right now. I'm trying so hard. I need to be so aware not to say it, but it's great. I think it's so fitting, and I'm really excited about that.
And Jack has also agreed to be our lead manager for the grocery store. So we're excited to see what you can do with the grocery. I mean, you've done a really good job with Chow over the years, and we're grateful for the fact that you've decided to take this next step with us.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited for this. It's a brand new project, absolutely clean slate. It was a privilege to work for Chow for so many years, and this grocery store project kind of became like this side thing that I just fell in love. Every time I think about it, it just brings a smile to my face of how meeting the need on the north side is going to have this huge effect on not only the north side, but on all of Broome County, and it's going to have it's going to affect everything that the council does. So it's so exciting. As somebody that lives on the north side, I'm fortunate to have reliable transportation to get to a grocery store, but I can't even imagine living on certain parts of the north side and not having a way to the grocery store. So I'm blessed to also be able to serve the community that I live in as well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that everyone is there are people on the north side that have been very excited about this prospect to begin with. I mean, so what has been the reaction that you've seen from people?
It's been just gratitude. I've already gotten many emails from Northside residents, offering their help, offering their insight, being willing to volunteer at the grocery store. But if there's one thing about the north side, it's people are very protective of their community as well. So, they want to know what's going to be in this grocery store. What is it going to be like? What's the layout going to consist of? And I like that. People are very vigilant about what's coming into their neighborhood, and I think we've been nothing but honest with them, and I think they've been very happy with what we're going to be offering.
Yeah. So what will we be offering?
So this grocery store is going to focus mainly on fresh and healthy foods. So we're going to have things like meats, dairy, a lot of produce. Of course, we will have staple items like non-perishables, bread, things like that. But for the most part, it's going to be a lot of fresh, healthy, and most of all, affordable food. And I think that is what the North Side craves. You know, the agencies that Chow partners with on the North Side, you know, they really can't get enough fresh produce to distribute to those they serve. So I think this is going to be a huge resource for those individuals.
Now, as far as, like we at the beginning of the show, I was talking a little bit about just the changes that the COVID-19 thing has kind of how the impact that has had on not only how we do meetings, but also, how we interact with each other and other kinds of things like that. I do know that there has been some impact. The the current pandemic has had some impact on the schedule and our ability to get the store open. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously the store right now is in a state of construction, and uh, the state actually shut down all construction projects. However, due to the fact that this was affordable housing, this project was not shut down. However, just logistically, the developers had a difficult time getting vendors onto the site for just building materials. So we were slated for a July opening. I can say now that they are saying between September and October. The optimists will say September and the others will say October, but at the very latest, we're looking at an October opening, which, given the circumstances and what's been going on in the country and the world, I think is still pretty impressive.
It is, and the thing I can't help but think is that, that whenever you're talking to people who know marketing or any number of other things, they talk about years, and there are New Year's, like the New Year's resolution, New Year, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. September is actually considered by many of them to be a new year. It's when things can start or open up or other kinds of things. So you end up with us coming in right at, what would be considered to be an optimum time, because you think about it, if school's going back in session, or, or if you're going into even the later fall and into the Christmas season or the holiday season, you end up with a very optimum time to be opening up a grocery store, don't you think?
I do. I think it's really not going to be a bad time of year, and like you mentioned, with kids going back to school, I think it's really going to give people a chance to just kind of come and see what's going on at this place and take a walk through and get to know us and what we're doing. And it's also exciting as well is that people coming into the grocery store, they'll also get to know some of the other community organizations in that area that can also be a resource to them as well.
Yeah, and you had talked earlier about what some of the impact might be on our partners. What does this mean for some of our partners through the community food programs that we serve through Chow?
Yeah, so Chow and Broome Bounty obviously provide food to over 100 agencies all throughout Broome County. But we are limited in sometimes in what we can get, whether it's through purchasing or food recovery. So these organizations do have a food budget, and that food budget is spent at places like Price Chopper or Weiss or a local food bank. So this is going to be a resource for them to actually use those resources and spread them much further and purchase a lot more for their dollar at this grocery store. So for instance, a pantry could come in and they could place an order for a bulk distribution of produce. If they want to supplement their pantry complements with fruits or vegetables, then they'll be able to do that very affordably through this grocery store.
Yeah, so really, I mean, it's going to help them expand their capacity as well.
Exactly. And I think also with the grocery store opening when it is, and hopefully things have kind of settled down in the community a little bit regarding COVID-19. our agencies at the Chow agencies, the community meals, has seen a huge uptick in people who are utilizing them. And I think a lot of that is just them being educated through necessity. And I have to imagine that once this is over, that they'll still those numbers will stay a little bit higher. So we're really fortunate to be there for those community meals and be able to provide them with the more expensive things that they would normally have to buy, like meats and proteins and things like that. So we'll be able to serve them in that way as well.
Yeah, I've been amazed at how many people are coming to us for the first time through COVID-19. And you're right. I mean, just the idea that that this is a service that's available and that we want to do what we want to do for people, and we don't want to make them feel like they're in a breadline, or we don't want them to feel, like they're less than a person if they come into one of our pantries. We really believe highly in the dignity of every person, and we trust our people.
Definitely. I think this has been this experience has been incredible. You have people who are giving us a call and asking for a pantry referral who, like you said, have never had to rely on the emergency food network. And I think it's just been a really eye-opening experience for a lot of community members who, have to go to a pantry, and that it really isn't, it doesn't have to be this stigmatized event for them, that it really is, it's perfectly normal to struggle. And, I think right now we're all kind of in this together. And it's been incredible listening to the phone calls that we're getting, the gratitude that's pouring into the office to our volunteers. And then, obviously our gratitude coming right back into the community for their support throughout this, because that's been huge.
Now, if we're talking about hunger and food insecurity, we want to go up to like the 1,000-foot level and look down on it. When you're thinking about the need in Broome County, what impact will a grocery store that's social purpose, has affordable food as being its right within its mission, what impact do you think that might have?
I think it's going to have a huge impact. I think not just because of the model of the grocery store and its relationship to the council, but the ability to purchase affordable, fresh food is something that most of us take for granted. And so putting that ability, giving that resource to a community that's lacked it for, oh my goodness, almost 25 years now. I don't even think we realize the effect that's going to have on the community. You think about it, kids, when they have breakfast, when they're able to eat throughout the day, they're able to pay attention in school, and it has a huge ripple effect through children. I don't even think we quite understand just the bounds of the impact this is going to have on the community. But people will be able to purchase food, healthy food, affordably. Their SNAP benefits will go further, their cash will go further, and I think it's going to have a huge impact on that community. And then also being able to provide the ability to purchase food through Chow's agencies, that's going to have a ripple effect through the entire community, through the whole county, through our entire service area. So the impact that this is going to have is going to be, I think, almost limitless in Broome County. And I'm really excited to see the full potential of that.
Now, my guest today has been Jack Seman. We've been talking about the North Side Grocery and its impact on the North Side. Now, one of the things that we found out when people were looking at the Chow bus, for instance, one of the misconceptions that people had was that they couldn't shop there unless they fell within a certain demographic, or they fell within a certain, economic status or whatever. And that people of means thought, well, we don't want to shop there because it's going to take away from someone who needed the access to the grocery, to the Chow bus. So can anyone shop from from this store? And what might the impact of a person who just wants a value from the grocery store, or just wants to shop there because they know it's going to go to be a social good? What kind of impact might they have on it?
And so, of course, anybody can shop at this grocery store, and we wholeheartedly encourage them to do so. First of all, I know I don't have any extra money that I could throw away paying more than I need to for groceries and fresh produce. So come for that reason. But also, this grocery store is a social purpose grocery store. And I think a lot of folks, when they hear that, they maybe get confused or aren't quite sure what that is. But suffice it to say, by shopping at this grocery store, you are supporting all of these incredible endeavors that the Council of Churches has throughout Broome County. So, for every dollar you spend at the grocery store, Chow is going to be able to provide 5 meals for that dollar. Every time you shop at the grocery store, Faith in Action is going to have a better ability to serve older individuals in Broome County. Jail ministries, lowering the recidivism rates, making sure that families of the incarcerated have holiday season or as best as it could be. Hospital ministries, making sure that those that are sick and ill, have the care that they desire. So, not only are you helping the North Side by supporting a grocery store there, but you're also supporting the Council of Churches and all the work that it does throughout Broome County. And, we do incredible work. We do absolutely incredible work. And the folks at the council work very hard to make sure that work is done well. And I think this grocery store is just going to enhance their ability to serve those that they serve.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that and to think that by increasing the capacity, like of like even the Chow bus, that was one of the things that I kept telling people is that if you're going to increase the capacity, you're going to be able to increase the kinds of access that we would have to even more food. So it's more of it's not so much it's not like a pantry where if you take something away from the pantry, that's gone for good. We're constantly buying, we're constantly updating. It's like a store, really. And that's a very, very different thing for people to get their head around, right?
It is, yeah. I think so. So many people are used. Yeah, they think that if they're taking off taking something off the shelf, that they're taking it out of somebody's hands. But I could tell you in the design process of this grocery store, we put in ample amounts of storage, and we have incredible relationships with suppliers. So if you see a deal at this grocery store, take advantage of it. I guarantee you, we can restock just fine.
And we would really like at this point to really share the name for this grocery store, because it really does speak to its purpose and to the kind of spirit that we want and the kind of good that can come from it. So, but we're gonna hold off on that. We'll have another time where we can talk about it and be able to kind of like share the name and the thought behind the name and the reason for choosing that name. But one of the things that we know that we're going to be able to do with this grocery store is to bring a community hope, and that in itself is a great thing for the North Side, because they've had so many institutions that have given up on them, that have said we don't want to go in there because they're for any number of reasons, maybe whatever, maybe there's urban blight, maybe there's more possibility of something being stolen. There's all kinds of reasons for people not going in there. But for us to go into a place and say, we're bringing you a great grocery store, good product, a great staff, like our lead manager. We love Jack. Jack is one of our great stories. And we just want to be able to say to the community, to the North Side in particular, we're here to serve you, and that's what we do at the council. We are a service organization. We've always been that, and that in itself is an amazing testament to the work that we do at the council. But more in particularly, it's the heartbeat for why we open a grocery store.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think the Council of Churches has an excellent record, and I think what we do is, we take risks, and I think for the most part they always pay off, and we end up serving a community that we haven't been able to serve in a different way, or we learn something. And I think this grocery store is going to be a success. And I'm so excited for the impact that it has on the north side, on the Council of Churches, on the folks that we serve. It's just a really exciting time to be at the Council of Churches.
Well, thank you, Jack, for being on Encounter this morning. We've been talking about the food, the grocery store, food insecurity, the impact that this grocery store might have on the north side. So thanks for being a part of this encounter today. And for all of you who are watching, we really hope that you would have a good Sunday, a great moment for, oh, we got 1 minute left. So I don't have to stop yet. So do you have anything else, any parting wisdom for people?
Well, I would just say to keep your eye out for the release on the name of the grocery store. Just really tune in and keep an eye on the progress of that project and come see us when it opens. Tell your friends about it, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you there.
We do want to have a big party for people. So so we want to have a party and a grand opening. We want to have the parking lot become something different. So, all right.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very exciting, and just stay tuned. It's been very difficult not to say that name.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Jack. And thank you all for watching us. Have a great Sunday and be good and gentle with each other.